Queer teachers are the future, my hand-knitted sweater vest shouts at you. Why do we need queer teachers, and why do we need to queer the classroom? Does queering the classroom look like this video?
The queens and the queers, yeah, they loving my shit. Yeah, shout the fuck out to the girls with the big ass flips, and shout the fuck out to the girls with the big ass dicks.
Spoiler alert, of course not, but homophobic people may think like this when they hear the word queer pedagogy. What is queer pedagogy? Queer pedagogy is a teaching framework which works to go beyond socially constructed binaries and heteronormativity. It draws on multiple theories and study fields such as post-culturalism, queer theory, and critical pedagogy. It challenges gender and identity in the classroom so that students develop critical thinking skills. Notable figures are Judith Butler, a philosopher and gender studies scholar, best known for, in my opinion, their book Who's Afraid of Gender, and Cynthia Nelson. The goal of queer pedagogy is to create a safe space with the help of three main practices: safety for queer students and teachers, engagement by queer students, and finally understanding of queer issues, culture and history. Cynthia Nelson argues that queer theory in the classroom dismantles heteronormative frameworks such as the curricula. Furthermore, it makes learning environments and teaching practices more gay-friendly. Queer pedagogy breaks free from regulated binaries and social constructs. As researchers have noted, homophobia and heterosexism can negatively influence and affect learning, which is why queer pedagogy is needed. One aim of queer pedagogy and queer theory in the classroom is to respect people's identity and to provide a classroom free of discrimination. Benefits. My favorite part to talk about. What are the benefits of queering the classroom? I think it's important to use inclusive language from the very start in the classroom and also teach a wide range of inclusive vocabulary if we're talking about languages. This is especially important because students should be able to express themselves freely. If they don't know the correct vocabulary, though, they won't be able to express themselves. This in turn means that these students may not be able to do the exercises, and this would have a big impact on assessment. Learners may also be wrongly assessed as not being capable enough and lacking. Oftentimes, students who try to express their identity against heteronormativity are labelled as linguistic failures by teachers who assume they haven't understood the given task. Giving learners the chance to use the proper vocabulary and give them the space to write about their identity can be affirming to learners and engages them in critical thinking tasks. Additionally, we are currently moving towards a world of censorship and misinformation if we look at our neighbours in the US. Since the beginning of Trump's second term, important networks, websites, and academic research has been deleted or changed.
I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Queer material is censored and dangerous misinformation is spread. The role of a teacher, in my opinion, is to pass on knowledge about the world and subjects, so that at the end of their school time they can form their own opinions and manage through the world and society. That also includes providing students a safe space and supporting them. It is important as a teacher to not pass on misinformation or harmful stereotypes and to actively go against censorship and misinformation. By educating students and queering the classroom, you foster empathy in students and a certain openness towards the world. If we do not foster empathy and use queer pedagogy, we may harm the students' ability to perform and speak their mind. It is important to ask yourself, what do you stand for as a teacher, and how does that reflect on your teaching? Challenges. With benefits of queering the classroom, there also comes a wide range of challenges. there is a serious lack of material, as most material is normative. This in turn means that teachers who want to queer the classroom are often forced to create their own material, which costs money and time. Furthermore, teachers are always in a tug of war with the curricula and how much freedom it allows. A number of teachers may also be afraid of parent backlash they may receive for queering the classroom. There will be parents who will not appreciate teachers queering the classroom. This may manifest itself in different forms, such as homophobic remarks or them threatening to speak to the head of school. Some teachers may feel pressured to give in to these parents. Likewise, learners may have problems with queer pedagogy as well. This can be seen in the form of making fun of the material, homophobic remarks, or refusing to work on the given material. The teacher's job here is then classroom management and trying to find out why the students have problems with queering the classroom and to actively engage in a discussion. Another actor who can come into play is the school itself. Some schools are kind of old-fashioned and are against teachers queering the classroom. In addition, there is simply not enough training for teachers on how to queer the classroom. As a result, teachers are unsure on what they are allowed to teach, what they should teach, and how they should teach queer material. Similarly, stereotypes play a big role. A number of teachers may not properly understand what queering the classroom actually means and thus be afraid of it. How to queer the classroom. Now that we have gone through the theory, how can this be implemented in the classroom? The most important step, in my opinion, is to make sure learners understand that the classroom is a safe space, free of racism, homophobia, misogyny, ableism, and so forth. It is important to clearly communicate this at the start of the year and to always remind the learners of that fact. This can be implemented by, for example, inclusive classroom policies. A safe space alone can have a great positive impact on learners and their openness for in-class discussions. A great idea could also be to implement pronoun tags. There are about 1,000 ways to implement queer pedagogy in your teaching, which may feel overwhelming at first. Queering the classroom can start with little things, such as including queer material. When talking about families, for example, you could include lots of different types of family constellations, providing learners with various options on how to express what their family looks like. This also applies to assessment. You should obviously first make sure your assessment material includes the quality criteria for assessment. You should then also make sure your assessment is inclusive. I could write a whole separate paper on inclusiveness in schools and all of the different factors that come into play. Another relatively easy way of bringing queerness into the classroom are films and books. As a teacher, you have a certain degree of freedom as to what materials you use in class. While some books may be set fixed by the curricula, you still have the liberty to choose other books to include in your teaching. Gaze the Word bookshop has a great selection of appropriate queer books for children with a wide age range. Don't shy away from queering the classroom even in primary school. Young learners are never young enough to learn. In addition, you could also explore queer issues with your students and open safe discussions. Furthermore, it is important to use inclusive language and to make it a normal part of the classroom. Having said that, it is crucial to receive feedback from your students. You could, for example, ask questions like, how did you like this class discussion about queer issues? How did you like the use of language in this classroom? Am I providing you with a safe space? Or how can I improve my teaching? Outlook. Looking back at all of the benefits and challenges of queering the classroom, how do we work with that? I propose building a database for queer teaching. This database should include teaching material, courses for teachers, and a forum. It has become clear that there is an apparent need for teacher training. Courses should sensitize teachers to include queer pedagogy in their teaching approach. These courses should also aim to clear up stereotypes. As mentioned before, it is more work to actively use diverse and queer material in the classroom, as textbooks are often normative, thus teachers painstakingly needing to create the materials themselves. A database of ideas and ready-made material could help relieve the burden and motivate more teachers to include queer material in their teaching. And here down below is how I think such a website could be built. I created a little mock-up on Canva and how this could look like. So the first one is the dashboard and the second one is the courses tab. Until such a platform gets built though, it is important to use the resources one has and share them with the community. I am still a teacher in the making. I'm still at university, so I am limited at what I can do. As a start, I try to include queer pedagogy and what I stand for in my university work, whether that means including the importance of queer pedagogy in an essay on my assessment philosophy, or in my term paper about digital tools in the EFL classroom. This semester, for instance, I am writing a term paper on using film as a digital tool in language teaching. I chose a lesbian short film suitable for primary school settings. I will admit it is a little challenging trying to make queer material without it being too much or too performative, if you get the gist. Having said that, I hope to be able to include queer pedagogy in a lot of my future teaching and university work. Moreover, I would love to help develop a shared database and websites with courses, teaching materials, and more in the future. Finally, and most importantly, I would like to see or conduct, if I ever get the chance, more research on queering the classroom in primary school settings, because that's the type of school I'll be going to in the future, where I'll be teaching, and it's something I'm very passionate about. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be listing all of the references at the end of the video.